Drench, what you think's gonna happen with Trae?
It looked like they're gonna try to shop him. I really think it's gonna be kind of hard to move Trey, though. To be honest, though, I think it's gonna be harder than what people think to move him. But they're gonna try to shop him. I could see him ending up in a bigger market, though. Like I know Atlanta's a big market, but I could see a bigger market.
Like what market?
I could see, huh?
Like what? Like Miami?
Yeah, I could see Miami. Shit, I could see Toronto. I ain't gonna lie, I could see Toronto.
Emmanuel quickly for Trae Young.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening.
Is that a straight up trade with Trae?
Man,
or do we have to get a third
quickly
team involved?
That's Emmanuel quickly. I don't want to
You
speak.
might have to get a third team involved.
You think you got to get a third team involved in this, Ox? Or is
Quickly's making
up?
$32 million. Trey's making like what, 45?
I didn't know Emmanuel was making that much. Okay.
Yeah, he sound like a 180 deal, something like that. Yeah, he signed a deal for like
Quickly. I know he. What's the name?
200.
Yeah,
They can't stand Quickly.
I think they can just make it happen.
Yeah, Quickly plus in a deal like that.
I know one thing is a fact, Ron. I know one thing is a fact. That GM lets him walk out the front door for nothing. He's getting fired.
No, he's not.
He is getting fired.
They don't even want him in there.
Even if
They
you don't want
Landry.
him,
They just fired Landry Fields. So
even if you don't want him, you can't let him walk out the front door. No,
he's made all the moves to get the roster they have now, though. Like he's doing.
I don't know what's wrong with I don't know what's wrong with just letting people leave.
I appreciate the addition by subtraction thing. I get that part. But a guy of Trae Young's talent and a guy who's that good as a distributor, a guy who is that good as a floor leader, I can't just let him walk out the front.
I'd rather keep him than let him go.
But if we're talking about getting Emmanuel quickly,
right?
Like no disrespect to Emmanuel quickly, I'd rather not have to pay him for multiple years and just let Trae Young leave than get Emmanuel quickly back to say I got something.
Which is fair, Mars. So to say
I think that take a little bit more from the Raptors than just Emmanuel quickly.
And that's my point,
yeah, nothing I'd want.
And that's my point.
You're not giving me any. You're not giving Brandon Ingram. You're not giving me Square Barnes.
Right.
I don't want Grady Dick. No disrespect.
So if that's the case in Toronto,
Jordan, you see Dick the other day?
Grady Dick is who we talking about. Jordan, focus. That's
He's trash. Jordan, what are you top 10 pick?
Yes, he was.
Sorry, but what did you say about Grady Dick the other day on the
timeline?
He was bad. He's not good.
No. What did you say verbatim?
He's not been good.
Dick's not been good.
And he hasn't been.
Yo, chill.
But I want to get back to what I want to get back to what Mars was saying. And this kid can't be this kid quickly can't be the only option. There has to be something else, whether we got to get a third team involved, whether we have to move in a different direction and get other teams involved to get a trade, because a player of that caliber who Trae Young is, when Trae Young is on the floor, I mean, we've obviously seen that this Atlanta situation is going the other way. Like it doesn't seem like he fits there anymore. Okay, great. That doesn't take away from Trae Young still being an awesome basketball player.
Yeah, it feels like you limit your ceiling if you're Atlanta. If you
think
get
he's
rid of
awesome?
Trae Young,
I do. I still think he's an awesome passer. I think he's an awesome playmaker. I still think he's an awesome scorer. I still think he's still awesome. I still think he's awesome at a lot of those things, and I can't just let him walk out the front door.
No, but Joe, I think but the reason why you get pushback though, when you say things like the GM should get fired, even though the GM is what's built this team without Trae Young being there, and the reason why they're not as good as they could be is because Trae has not been as good as you need to be as the number one option, which is objectively true, by the way, for the last year and a half. I think some of this is he's also just in a situation where no one in the league, by the way, chill, remember, when he was making all NBA teams or in that conversation, the league didn't value him because they didn't even put him in the All-Star game the year he made all NBA. I believe he made all NBA that year. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the same season.
Look it up. And there were some years he was getting snubbed from all NBA.
Also, wasn't making the All-Star game. The reputation around the league, which is why nobody's traded for him so far. The contract's not worth the headache. People don't think he's a good teammate. This is, by the way, this is just based on rumors. Not a good teammate. Hard to play.
I heard that. I told y'all that early in the season about what was going on in Atlanta, and people was acting like I was just making up shit.
Yep. And then the coaches.
I said that early in the season.
Remember what was the black coach they had before?
Nate McMillan.
Lloyd Pierce.
Lloyd Pierce. That whole, remember, there was actual feud between him and Pierce. Now Quinn Snyder, who's a great coach, mind you. Quinn Snyder and Trey don't seem to have the best, whatever. Again, I'm not, reporting that. That's just information that's available. And on the top of that, the way he plays, the way he shoots, where he shoots, the inefficiency, it just seems that they have been ready. And again, not having a contract. What is he, 26, 27? For you not to have a contract extension in the prime of your career, this young with the gaudy numbers,
it's an indictment
says
for sure.
a lot about the total package.
Shouldn't have been running that mouth.
That's all true. That's all true. But Chill's not lying. If you let Trae Young rock out the front door without getting something in return, you're dumb.
Yeah,
because
you're not getting
has
fired.
Value.
That's what he said.
You're not getting fired.
Well, you should be fired.
He got Jalen Johnson, Nikhil, and Kristaps Porzingis and Dyson Daniels.
You might and you can have something else, whether it's just draft capital. I don't know what it is.
I think the only thing you'll be able to get is draft
of value back from Trae Young.
But you got to give him credit. Remember, they fixed the DeJounte Murray trade. He got Dyson Daniels in the trade.
What does that got to do with Trae Young?
And then he got Jalen Johnson on the draft.
So since you won on all these other moves, you don't capitalize on an asset.
But I'm saying you won't lose your job because of your track record of.
No, okay, all right. The fire part, you probably don't get fired. But I'm saying like that is
it's a mistake.
But I think the Drago.
Crazy.
What do you?
Let me.
What if they're trying to trade you, Ron? What if they're trying to trade you bad contracts? Because remember, Trey's expiring. So teams are probably looking at Trey saying, we're going to give you our bad contracts plus draft capital. And so far, the Hawks GM is saying, well, we don't want bad money on our books. We're actually getting rid of money with Trey. And honestly, the trade assets you're giving us in draft capital aren't useful enough to us to make up for having 35 additional bad dollars on our contract for the next 3 years. So maybe that's what it is. So Ron, in that situation, would you rather have 3 years of bad money and late first round picks that are like super tied up in non-lottery, or would you rather say we got 45 mil off the books, rookie contracts, and more expirings on our contract? That way, if we want to sign somebody later on, we can simply do that. Which one would you rather have, Ron?
Swipe it. And I know you're going to say I'm dodging and ducking the question. What I'm saying is I don't think that you have to take either. I think Trae Young has good value. You just have to be a GM. Go out there, call all 30 teams, and find out who has the best package.
You got to call yourself.
Now, if I do got to take a little bit of bad money, okay, I would rather take a little bit of bad money with some other good assets as opposed to just letting Trae Young walk and not getting.
Well, that's not really how it works. If teams wanted Trae Young, they'll call you.
Which is what I was about to say.
And
I think you can reach out too, though. You know
yes, you can.
You lose leverage as soon as you start reaching out, especially
not necessarily.
But that's the thing, y'all always
leverage.
I always hear that from y'all about losing leverage. You know what I'm saying? If you're too afraid to lose leverage, sometimes you just don't get the deal done. So everybody knows already that you want to trade Trae Young. Everybody already knows this. So it's the whole leverage thing, that's not even a big deal like that. Sure. But to swipe it to your point, when Ron said calling all 30 teams, you said calling yourself. Yes, calling yourself is weighing the option of letting him walk, because that is an option. That is an option, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad option if to Casual's point, you don't get what you want, because that money off the books, that could be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That could be a good thing. You can always sign somebody else. I don't know who's coming up in free agency, but yeah, you want to trade Trae Young, but you just don't take anything. You know what I mean? Like to Swiper's point, I'm not gonna go get more bad money. I'm not
Atlanta's giving themselves flexibility for sure. My only issue is like, what's their plan post Trae Young? Because I'm looking at Atlanta's roster. Obviously, Jalen Johnson is terrific.
What's
that
their
guy's
plan?
Good. But we have
they got a great roster.
We have no idea if Jalen Johnson's actually number one. But as of right now, he is a terrific.
He's an All NBA player as of today.
I don't think he's number one. I don't think he's number one.
I don't think he's like. We have no idea if he's like that.
How many
championship team? We have no idea yet. But what I'm saying is,
what we
do know is he is an All NBA terrific type player. We just don't know if he's that number one alpha dog yet. We don't know
who's
that.
The number one? How many number ones are in the league though? If we're doing nothing,
I mean, a lot of teams. That's why a lot of teams fish for number ones though, Swiper. Because
is J-Dub a number one?
They don't have number one. They try to fish
on a number one, but I'm saying like, you know,
I mean, he is. If
you brought that up, Muggs, because he made the All-Pro team, and that's what he's basing it on.
I'm saying that J-Dub is a number one on a really good team. What I'm saying is like championship number one. I don't think many of us think Hallie's like a traditional championship number one, but he is, like, because he did do it. Like, he did lead his team to that.
Yes, he is.
I think 100%. That Jimmy Butler is a number one, but he's a seasonal number one. Regular season,
I agree with that.
Whatever, but playoffs, he can elevate.
Seasonal thing. Jimmy Butler, when the Miami Heat teams was going to the finals, he was making an All-Pro team.
I agree, but Jimmy Butler was a
Jimmy Butler was just.
Jalen Johnson's not as good as Halliburton.
Was still
exactly. Jalen Johnson definitely not as good as them two.
I don't think Jalen Johnson is better than Jimmy Butler today.
Who are you talking to? You talking to me?
The world.
Talking to everybody.
I disagree.
Everyone watches.
If
that inevitably gets,
I personally disagree.
Wait.
I'm with Swipe on this one.
Wait a minute, Mars. Rewind. Jalen Johnson, you don't think he is better than Jimmy Butler, 36-year-old Jimmy Butler on that Golden State Warrior team today? Can I get a satisfactory answer on that, Mars? I'm listening. Why is Jimmy Butler better than Jalen Johnson today?
Well, I could start with one being a really good defender and one being bad, so that helps.
Okay.
I think Jimmy Butler is still quite clearly better in the half court. Like his ability to get to the free throw line, score reliably in the half court, self-creation. Jalen Johnson still struggles in that regard. Like he's not an efficient self-creator in any sense of the word. Jimmy Butler is. Jimmy Butler in a playoff setting, I trust more to create and initiate offense and play away from the ball than I do with Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson is someone who is a terrific passer. I'll take nothing away from his passing ability. I think as a passing forward, you've got obviously like the LeBrons of the world. Sure. But like Jalen Johnson is up there. He's a spectacular passer. You can't deny that. His feel, his interior passing, his athleticism in transition. But in the half court, the limitations are glaring. This is not someone who can consistently beat guys off the dribble, which is crazy considering the athlete he is. He's not someone who has a great intermediate game. He picks up his dribble on his drives a whole lot, so he ends up taking some off-balance floaters that don't go with any sort of regularity. Yeah. He's not great in pick and roll either in terms of creating for himself out of that. Like he struggles to create in the half court. There's a reason in Trae Young's absence, the Hawks had like the worst half court offense in the league. Like they were like, it was bottom 5 or something. It was bad.
Sure.
But Jalen Johnson is still really good. And I think as a complementary piece, when you have his skill set, his passing, his ability to play in transition, his rebounding, the ability to like set screens and play in the middle of the floor, like he'll be great complementing someone. Just as great as I think Jimmy Butler is complementing someone. But I also think Jimmy Butler can do more. He can score more in a playoff setting. He's a way better defender. He fits more systems because of that defense. Like Jalen Johnson at this point is a 6'9" wing who sucks on defense. Like that's not
I don't even think he's interested in defense, to be honest. Too.
Like he was good. He was good on defense last year. His defense was good. His offense grew. Like he's become a much better offensive player, and the defense is falling off. Like he's just bad on defense at this point. Now Trae Young gets all the notoriety for it because it's Trae Young, but Jalen Johnson has been horrific on defense. Like the best thing he does, he plays passing lanes. Everything else is terrible. He can't close out to people. He can't stay in front of people on the perimeter. He's not interested. He doesn't make second efforts. Like so, yeah.
His recovery is bad too. His recovery is bad. I think that's a lot. I think that has a lot to do with him.
It might be an effort thing. I don't know. It might be an awareness thing. I don't know what it is, but the reality is that's what's happening. So yeah, I still do trust Jimmy Butler more. For whatever reason, I don't know.
I think it's because of the skill.
Yeah, he lagged.
Yeah, that's how he normally looks though. So you don't really think he lagging.
Right, Swiper, you being a PRA merchant, I think that's
PRA merchant.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a
derogatory sense. Like he listen to everything you saying, Knox.
I don't. He is, of course he is. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, right? But please don't take it that way. I'm just saying, but you being the PRA merchant, I see why you're so high on Jalen Johnson. And I think Jalen Johnson's a fantastic young player. Obviously, he has some things he can work on, and I do think that if he becomes the lead guy over there, he's going to have to get better at those things quick. I'm thinking about what you guys are saying with the Trae Young thing, and you can't trade Trae Young for Emmanuel quickly. You got to do better than that. If you're
I believe so too.
At this point, y'all. They might have to let Trae Young walk out the door because it's like unless they can do the trade that Swipe was talking about with Giannis or
do it
something like that. There's not. I just don't think there's much
for
Trae Young.
By the way, Ox, on that,
I do understand that. I understand that.
And you can attack Zachary Ricochet to him too. Now I know you guys are gonna say, "Oh, Zachary Ricochet."
Yeah, that's for Giannis, then, Ron. Who else are you gonna get?
I'm not just saying for Giannis. I'm not just saying.
Yeah, I know that. I understand that, Ron. Look,
like that AD move. It's a lot of moves.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to get AD.
Nope.
Like I don't want AD if I'm Atlanta either.
I don't want AD either.
You need a perimeter creator. You're
not gonna get Paolo. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not a fit. You need a perimeter guard. You need a guard if you're Atlanta. If you're trading.
But see though, we're talking about all-star level people too. The point I'm trying to make is, I will take a high-level role player. I'll go get Trey Murphy. I'll go get Herb Jones. I'll go get somebody like that. It doesn't have to. I'm not saying you have to go get an all-star or all-NBA level player for Trey.
Or else you got to let him walk.
No, they're not. But I'm saying, Ron, they're not making enough money. That's a part of the equation. Trey Murphy.
But you guys are acting like the GM can't GM.
Well, that's why I asked you direct questions.
I'm not trading Trae Young as a role player.
Hold on, Casual. That's why I asked you direct questions because I'm trying to frame it for you to answer based on the premise that's allowed. What's happening right now is Trae Young's making so much money, Ron, which is like I think it's $48 million a year. If I remember the number correctly, somebody can look 48.
It up. Correct.
That's
correct. It is 48.
So what happens is because of the CBA, Ron, you have to then say Trey Murphy plus another high quality player making $24 million a year. So the question becomes, who on the other end believes of that trade that Trae Young is worth 2 premium role players plus draft capital, or just 2 premium role players to trade for Trae Young? What I'm
like, you literally just said to me, you literally just said to me a couple of days ago about the Trae Young for Giannis deal. That works. In terms of the money,
ain't no way the Bucks doing that.
Chill, that works. That works
like
because
Giannis.
That works because Giannis wants to go. That works because Giannis wants to go. My point to Ron is Ron said to us, y'all act like the GM can't GM. No. I'm talking about GM doing his job, looking for somebody out there. To Swiper's point, it's like who is out there that's gonna make this move for you? That's a part of after the GM does his job. Like what are we doing out there? Like even there's players that make a lot less that teams aren't coming off of. Denny Avdia. The Trailblazers wouldn't do that 1-for-1.
Why would you even trade Trae?
Sure.
See, my thing is
I'm just throwing out examples, Casual. I'm not necessarily being like specific. I'm just throwing out like Austin Reeves. The Lakers wouldn't do that 1-for-1.
Well, they wouldn't do that because they
didn't even make enough money.
Ron, I think
exactly, Casual. That's my point. Guys that make way less than Trey, GMs are like,
Ron.
I'm understandable.
And by the way, Ron, I'm asking you this directly because I think for you this is a good storyline because I know how you think. Just think about this. Would you rather have Russell Westbrook on the veteran minimum and ask him to do the lead point guard responsibility for the next half of the year, or would you rather have Trae Young do it at the rest of the salary? I think you got to think about like what are we replacing? No, but I'm saying the money difference. The NBA right now doesn't think he is that much better than that lower tier of point guards in the league. They just don't think he's that much better for the money. For the money is what I'm saying.
Well, I'd rather have Trey than Russ, but I get what you're saying.
It's just the money. The money difference. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I understand the money difference. My thing is, and I did answer this when you asked me the first time.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I said I would take back a bad contract. I just need some other good assets in there.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna do a PC questionnaire, and it's gonna be yes, no. Ron answered directly. We're gonna make you fill it out. No option C. Other answer.
So once again, I answered your question directly. I just didn't give a specific example. I'm gonna go back to the Pelicans. I'm not saying that the Pelicans want Trey. I'm not saying they need Trey. I'm going to give you an example though. I would take Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, and then I would take a couple other players that fill that in.
Yeah, give me Jordan Poole.
Salary.
That could be Jordan Poole.
Make a lot of money though, right?
Hey, look, once again, I'm not saying that this trade would happen. I'm just giving you an example of a package I would take back. Give me
Jalen
Herb Jones or Trey Murphy. Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, and then give me some of those older guys. That could be Sadiq Bey. That could be Jordan Poole. That could be DeJounte Murray. Whoever fills in that capital.
I think we're getting another team involved in this. I just don't think.
Is there a Rockets trade for you that you can see for
Young trade? We have to think about like, dude, Atlanta's
like
a guard creator if they're going to let Trae Young go, because they have plenty of forwards with Okongwu, Jalen Johnson, Reece Shea, Chris Stapps. They got a lot of forwards. If you're asking for like Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, that's a lot of forwards. Where's my guard? Where's my point guard? Where's my 15, 20 points coming from my PG or my 2? If we're trading
Nikhil's averaging 20 though. Nikhil averaging 20.
I'd much rather just have Trae Young in the postseason than a bunch of forwards.
My only thing is, this is why, to Swiper's point, he asked me about the Rockets. I don't think Trae Young fits with the Rockets. I don't want to see Trae Young and Şengün and play basketball when we got Kevin Durant that need the ball in more simpler spots. Those guys Trae Young will kind of.
Trae Young can't do that. Trae Young can't put KD.
He don't play simple basketball.
It doesn't make sense to put Trae Young with a big who doesn't pick and pop or is a lob.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense.
They don't play simple basketball.
Şengün can run.
I thought he could pick
Nah,
a
Şengün wants to be a guard.
catch a
Şengün
couple.
want to be Trae Young.
Şengün wants to catch the ball in the pocket and do what he does. He's not
He's not like Clint Capella.
He's not gonna do.
He's not like Jokic versus Miami. What you're saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I
seen him catch that lob. Like,
He got hurt right after.
Yeah.
That was the same level of athleticism, by the way, from Jokic. If you balance it out, you got to grade it on the curve. As Embiid did when he threw the ball off versus the Knicks. Remember what I'm saying?
No,
whatever.
He did that again against the Nets, by the way, like 3 nights ago. He missed, but he did it again.
But to Swiper's point, though, like it's certain teams that Trae Young just don't fit on. Like he might can fit New Orleans, but I'm gonna have to take Jordan Poole. I'm gonna have to take either Herb Jones or Trey Murphy and a pick. I'm gonna have to take something.
Be clear about one thing. Be clear about one thing, Jordan. I just gave you
fit on the Pelicans though.
Just be clear about one thing.
Those guys
I just gave you Dyson Daniels, and Dyson Daniels was a throw-in. By the way, we threw him.
I told you guys he was the best player in the deal.
You did say that, Mars. You 100% said that. He was like, here, take this too, in addition to the trade. If you think I'm just handing over Herb Jones to you, you bugging. You bugging out.
I mean, sure.
I already gave you Dyson Daniels.
It's not like
I'd rather have Trae Young than I'd rather have Herb Jones and Trae Young as player for player, period, if I'm a contender.
Not if I'm Atlanta. No.
I'm a contender.
Not if I'm
I'm a
Atlanta.
contender.
No.
I'm leveraging a lot of things when I'm trading,
not if I'm
trading
Atlanta.
to New Orleans. Number one, y'all ain't got no motherfucking superstar over here.
Yeah, they do. Have you seen Derek Queen?
Zion ass ain't no superstar no more.
Derek Queen ain't.
Well, you got the young.
We just using the word superstar for anyone these days.
Whoa, you can project Mars. Just open your.
Yeah. But y'all need.
We'll see what Derek Queen becomes. We'll see what
they need some excitement.
If Şengün's a superstar, Derek Queen can be a superstar.
Even I think fits with Trae Young. I don't think Derek.
I need some excitement in my life. That's what they need. They need Trae Young over there for sure.
They got the Bayou Bash brothers and Derek Queen and Zion. Why do they need more?
Young Queen Zion. That's what they need.
All right, fellas. Don't really play much defense, so I don't know if adding Trae Young fixes their problems, but definitely makes them more explosive offensively. Then
make them more fun to watch. Nobody they giving away tickets for $5.
Okay, but guess what else is fun to watch? The Charlotte Hornets, and they're still bad. I don't want to be the Charlotte Hornets.
They ain't that fun to watch.
No, they're not.
Offensively, I enjoy watching the Hornets.
Nah, they're not. They're fun to watch.
I don't mind watching the Hornets.
Young ball too.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. With a check, throw smoke, and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out here did raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.